Oh yeah. We got some pretty sick beats going on here today. Let's turn it down though so you guys don't hear it through my mic. I never wear headphones, which is a really big issue when people are trying to call me because they're always like, I can hear myself. Like, I know. And if it was me, I'd be really pissed, but it's like, I really just hate wearing headphones. So, you kind of have to deal. Music is greater than voice. I forgot to turn it down. Fuck. There we go. That was my bad. How's that? I think that should be perfect. So... there we go. There we go. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Music's down. Good job using your words. Oh, I gotta link this to Grandmaster Paint, the leader of the Templar Order. Must get the link to the stream. Methander. Okay, what do we want to add to this side? Do a couple things. So, actually, I like it. I like it. Maybe just add a little bit of detail to these pillars, but not much. Very simple addition. Oh yeah. That's a great little addition there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a little offended, guys. Can I be honest? I just want to be honest with the community. I'm a little offended. I'm offended that you guys make more memes of MayDK0 than me. You know, I know he's like the hero of the genre that, you know, updates something and gets to your uniform requests after like a billion years, but come on. I'm pretty memeable. I want my face on the body of a, you know, Israeli soldier. You know? Why can't I have that? When are pilgrims getting swords? In Reforged! Pilgrims will have swords in Reforged. By the way, I have a large Reforged announcement I will make at the end of this stream. So, for those of you that stick around, I have a big spoiler for Reforged, and you're not going to want to miss it. This is not clickbait, because I'm saying it. It is a little encouragement for you to stay in the stream, but, you know, I'm just using marketing tactics. It's not really evil of me. The announcement for Reforged is quite significant. So if you want to hear it, my suggestion to you would be not to leave. And to tell anybody that might be interested. And it's exciting news. It's not bad news. Some of you may take it bad, but it's very exciting news. It's definitely something you're going to want to hear. I'll say that. If I were you, I'd want to hear it. What is this? Oh, there's a fucking dummy right there. Nice. You fucking dummy.
The billionaire class has millions of taxpayers' dollars. And I say this, to be exact,
You will harvest money from bees. No, that's not the update. Reforged pushed back 1 more year. Yeah, no, that is not the announcement. Although you wish it was. Because you're trying to sabotage these good people, Zara.
the upper 1/10 of 1% hold 90% of the wealth in this country. And globally, the upper 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of the upper 1% own 99% of the wealth in the world. Including me, because I'm a millionaire.
Come for the build, stay for the Bernie Sanders impressions. Phil, what's with the American flag? I'm a patriot. That's what the American flag is for. I'm a patriot just like Patches O'Houlihan. Naveed. Reforged announcement. It's being pushed back 1 more year due to Mayday Myth being too damn lazy watching 10-year-old girls doing retarded TikToks instead of using their time to make Reforged. You shouldn't elect Myth for president. You should elect Credenzio. He's way better. Ooh. What is this part from? I don't know. Well. Also, you guys make sure to remind me of the Reforged announcement at the end, because I probably will forget if you don't remind me, and you'll all be really mad. It lied about the Reforged announcement. It's a pretty big announcement. I probably won't forget, but when I'm like, alright, we're winding it up, you guys may want to, This announcement may come with certain conditions, though. I'll let you know what the conditions are. Oh my god, there's no room to get in. Yikes. How did I fuck that up? Ryder, that's a good idea. I never thought about that before. That would be in the name of capitalism, of course. You all have to pay. Reforged is now paid access. Do. Perfect. Make it 25 Robux. Nah, dude, if I made paid access, it'd be like... It'd probably be $1 million. IRL money. Oh, I fucked up the negation. Let's see, what's the chat saying now? It's the Jedi Temple. I am not Tom Holland, damn it. Tom Holland is B-Tech Mythandir. He's B-Tech Phil, bro. Look how well that worked out there. Now, I'm not going to keep that because that'd be weird and lazy. This music's kind of trash. That commercial almost gave me an aneurysm. Now you're Israeli. Wow. Everybody yell at Saye to fucking finish the terrain. 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 Finish the terrains. There was a time in my life when I was really happy until people started comparing me to Tom Holland. Then I got mad. Then I got pissed. It's like they don't even care about my emotions. That I don't want to be B-Tech Tom Holland. Like, they don't even care. What do you mean? You never dead for me. I was happy until the Fire Nation attacked. Right now I'm Corsair. Since it's almost midnight for you, you gotta stay till the end of the stream, bro. You think I'm gonna let you tell everybody what the surprise is? Nah, bro, I ain't about that life. Catboy promoting bad sleeping habits? What the hell? I mean, I'm not telling you to stay up. I'm just telling you I'm not going to tell you the update unless you're in the stream. Your choices are completely up to you. Nice try, Ryder, trying to frame me again. Get me arrested. Get me arrested for a second time, Ryder. Shameful. We did it! Almost. I think I almost preferred the bad EDM music to this cheesy fucking shit. Just maybe. Just maybe I preferred it. Just maybe. Wait, where'd the fucking... That's weird. I deleted that. Ah, I see. Makes sense. Alright. We will now do Q&A. As far as you can ask me some questions, not an actual Q&A. But any questions, hopefully pertaining to building. Or just like something not related to Reforged. What it's about the Reforged you can talk about. I'm gonna release top secret information that will make a lot of you question your very existence. Yeah, surprise. Reforged is actually just adopt me. Last stream Sylvan says, last stream you said you were a practical builder. 1 out of 10, how much detail do you put into builds on average? Like, kind of curious your opinion on your level of detail is. So if you look at the if you go to Constantinople and you look at the hallway that leads to Hagia Sophia, I'd say that's like an 8.5 for how much detail I put in that out of 10. Of how much I could have, like my skill set would have been able to do more than that, but that's like an 8.5. I would say on average I probably go more around a 6 for my level. I mean, a 6 for somebody else, I don't know what that is. But for me, it's more about finding that balance. So, for example, I would say, you know, Palmyra Oasis is like a... The walls are okay, but like it's like a 5 or 4, you know. So I kind of just depended on various things to choose whether I would put a lot of detail into something or a little. If that makes sense. Can we get married in Reforged? No. You can do whatever you want. I have not set up a marriage system. You weirdo. Can we get married? Can we get married? What plugins are you using? Also, give me that damn list of all the sound effects you want in Discord, Adroit. I'm patiently waiting. Okay, Adroit, I want... What do you mean all the sound effects? I don't even know what you fucking mean. I will Discord you. Yeah, so the plugins I use are basically... I've been using these same ones with Rider. It recommended it to me for a long time. I use Build Edit. And I also use... I've used Gap Fill one time. Tear Angle I don't really use anymore. Yeah, I really only use Build Edit. Although there's this one Sae just recommended me called Build V4, which is supposed to be pretty helpful. I haven't used it yet, but hopefully it is, because it helps you line up things perfectly so you don't have to do it manually, and it saves a lot of time, which is nice. What's the most detailed build you've made in 2TC? Probably, besides that Hagia Sophia hallway, which I already mentioned. That's definitely up there. For, like, the whole place, I would say it's got to be Masyaf or Damascus. Masyaf and Damascus... I spent about 3 months on Damascus just grinding it out and just making, like, the perfect sort of thing that I could. And I think it turned out great. For Masyaf, I spent something more like 6 years making that with the help of Ryder and others. But, yeah, so I would say Masyaf, the Citadel of Masyaf is still one of the more detailed places, although I think my new builds would be a lot better than that. And then New Jerusalem's going to be the most detailed after this. So New Jerusalem after this, which is the one that, like, this place, like, I don't think anything's going to be quite as detailed as when we finish the Sepulchre. Spacing. You know, the parts of Alamat are pretty detailed. But But like I said, a lot of it's practical, so. Are you happy with what Matey did to the Karak basement? Oh, God. Oof. Oh, Matey's not going to like my answer. Look, I thought the update was great. They actually surprised me with it. I didn't know what they were doing. So I was really happy with what they did. And I think Matey did an okay job. I mean, the detail level's very high, but the errors are pretty present in a lot of areas, and I'd like to have those fixed. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not bad, and I mean, I'm just happy they updated something for the game for you guys. I thought it was very nice of them to do that, and it's certainly by no stretch is bad. It just there's some areas I'd like to clean up. I'm also kind of a posh, picky builder. I'm a little bit too judgmental at times. Maybe undeserved. Maybe without really having good reason to be. I'd like to think I'm qualified to judge most builds, but it's possible I'm not. Certainly some builds I think I'm I think I'm qualified to judge any build. I just don't know if I'm qualified to I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't even know how to finish that sentence, so you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. What is the most detailed build? We already answered that. What did you use for patterns? Last stream you repaired the floor with 2 clicks. Is that build edit? Yeah. That's all I use in build edit is the pattern tool. If there's a plugin I found that just had the pattern tool, I would just use that. It's just a time saver. And it's like you really should not be doing it any other way, because if you're trying to count I used to count the individual part studs in between things to make sure they were perfect. And it's like I used to be like, yeah, I don't use plugins because, you know, I'm a true builder, and true builders don't use plugins. They do everything manually. But the truth is it just takes extra time, and you're not impressing anybody. Now, I think there is a point when you're using a certain amount of plugins where it's just like, if this shit's like auto-generating builds for you and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's not really your building. You just used an AI to do it. But at the same time, I mean, to each their own. Oof, I got an idea. Okay. Yeah, I don't really do 3D models. I know how to do Blender. I've used it before, and I've made things on it before. But personally, I just think it's a little too tedious. Like, I wouldn't mind doing it if I needed to, and I have before. But I have a great team of Blender artists, and I like to rely on them to do it. Personally, I think there's a big difference between sort of like architecture, which is more of like what this is, and modeling, which is what I would consider that. Right now, we are making more so models. Like this right here is more modeling. But like this dome is architecture, and I consider those two things completely different. Now, somebody can be good at both, and certainly there are many people who are. But nowadays, a really great build, people just import stuff from Blender, and you can't even tell that it's not built in Studio. They make it look, they have Roblox materials and stuff, but it's a mesh. The current TTC trees are all meshes. Actually, what we did for Jerusalem is a little interesting. We imported meshes. What we did is we exported we exported windows I had made in Studio, and then after we exported them, we re-imported them from Blender so they could be meshes and make less and have less processing and lag less, basically. So this back piece is going to be really difficult because of the shape. I'm not really sure how we're going to go about doing it. Personally, I'm tempted to just do something completely unique with it, not related to the other parts, which I will try to demonstrate, because it's just like, that would almost take too much time and it wouldn't be worth it, honestly. If I was going for max detail, I would do something like that, but you can have a lot of patience to be a modeler. Being a builder is a lot easier to be less patient. You have to do more with less, I think, with building sometimes, because you have so many constraints. Not every building can be as detailed as the Statue of David. But with modeling, it's like that's like the standard, is it needs to be that good. And of course, because I had to model through my building, I'm a pretty decent modeler. But there are people who far exceed my abilities in that area. Have any of your devs leaked Reforged info surrounding Reforged? Not that I know of. They've been very loyal and very good. And as far as that goes, you know, I tell them all not to tell you all anything because I want it to be a surprise. And I think Michael said the same thing to you guys when you guys were asking Reforged questions to him. It just, I'm not going to spoil the game. You know, and at this point, we've been working on it so long that it just doesn't make any sense to tell you guys what's everything. Although there will be a big spoiler at the end of this. So, and it's a calculated spoiler. Now, there could be a way I could do this just a little bit more eloquently. Yeah, I did know that, Maverick. I'm just not... personally, I just am so used to not doing that I do it sometimes. I was doing it when I was building the houses, for sure. Now, you guys might think this part's interesting. I like how I said I was going to be too difficult to detail back here, and I wasn't going to do it, and then I ended up fucking doing it anyway. Oops. Fucked it up. There we go. We just need to make 2. Now that should be big enough to split. TTC reforged. That'd be funny. Oh, yes, look at that. Nice. Fuck yes. I will say this, it's harder to do details in Studio than it is in Blender, for sure. And any Blender person saying otherwise is lying to you. Studio just is not as adept and professional as a system for doing things like that. That being said, Blender's a little bit not user-friendly, so personally I much prefer Studio if I can, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily better. If I'd get past the learning curve on Blender, I feel like I'd be able to use it quite efficiently. Why is Malbork historically inaccurate? I mean, why does Ilmare exist? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Look, I got a little bored after a while just clone copying historical castles, and so I wanted to make something unique. I actually got inspired by like Elvish designs, Lord of the Rings Elvish designs on the outside of Malbork, which is why Malbork has those beautiful walls. Yeah, I just decided that I I just decided that I wanted to change it up. And the thing about historical accuracy is that you can take some creative liberty with it. You don't want to take too much, but you definitely can take some. And so, actually, Mare is... Here's a Reforged spoiler. Mare is probably going to be repurposed into a different base for a new faction that we're adding. The one that historically exists. I mean, if you look at Syracusa, I've been to Syracusa in real life. It's in Italy. And if you look at Syracusa, I just took a castle I already had built from a Game of Thrones genre that I wanted to start, or a Night's Watch group specifically. It was called... what was the fucking name of it? It wasn't Eastwatch by the Sea. It was, the Shadow Tower. And I took the Shadow Tower, and I recolored it, and I added bricks to the outside, and I used it for Syracusa's main castle. And I used, also for Syracusa, I was trying to start a Lord of the Rings genre at one point. And so I used the... Oh, I fucked that last one up. I was trying to start a Lord of the Rings genre, and I basically made the city of... I started on the city of Dale. Me and a coworker were working on that, and I noticed that I never used those houses. They were actually more detailed than a lot of... what did I just do? Do I want to fucking do that? No. Why do I keep fucking this up? Okay. Anyway, I had noticed that we never used them, and it had been like over a year, and the project we just gave up on, I just decided to commit fully to TTC. And so I went back, and I saw those houses for Dale, and I was like, well, fuck. Let's use these for Syracusa, because if anybody remembers... Guess what you guys would call old gen members, even though you guys are all new gen to me and people like Ryder. Old gen members will remember that Syracusa was like one of the worst bases. I didn't build it. Of course, I didn't build it. It was one of the worst bases. But it was like very, very bad. And so what I did is I said, okay, we need to build a new Syracusa. And so I combined parts from my other builds to save time, because making a new place can take months and months and months. As you can see with New Jerusalem, it's just been taking months and months. And so why would you waste assets you have in other places? So I sacrificed historical accuracy to... make something that I thought looked really good, and still had an Italian theme, and still somewhat represented Syracuse. I've been there. I mean, the castle doesn't look exactly like that, but, you know, who knows what it looked like 1,000 years ago. Could have been different. So that's my personal belief as far as that goes. Very long-winded answer. Wow, look how good that came out. Pat myself on the back. Will Adams be in Reforged? How completed is Reforged in percentage? Not going to answer that. Will we have our faces animated? I don't need to answer that. Let's see. Oh shit. Wow. Look how good that came out, guys. Nice. how many years will it take after phase 1 for the next phase. So after Reforged, we're actually not going to release the phases at once. They're still called phases, but actually what we're doing is something a little different. So we're actually going to have it so each part of the phase will be released incrementally. So it'll be a lot quicker to get updates. So instead of having to wait years to get an update, like you guys have, it'll basically just be maybe a couple months or less between updates, because we're essentially going to make it so we're essentially making it so fuck. Just I'm losing my train of thought when I have to work on this. That each time like something's done, like let's say the naval system, something that we're adding in phase 2, ships, things like that. When that's done, it'll just be released. We're not waiting for everything else in phase 2 to be done. We're just going to release that on its own, which I think is a more efficient way to do it, and honestly, just a lot better overall. Ooh, it's looking kind of good. Yeah, as soon as if we get 40 people in here, I will announce the spoiler for Reforged immediately. But until then, I'm going to keep building. I mean, I think at least 40 people will be in here if you guys tell them that there'll be a big Reforged leak if they come join. You can get that many people easy. I'll know if you're botting. I will know. Just have patience. Zara, that's not the right attitude. You gotta try to get more people in the stream. That's how I trick people into watching me build. As far as exterior goes, we just need to do the roof part, and it will be done. And then we have to do some interior design, but like what was nice about this, which I'm not sure if I can do when we do the exterior, is that the interior design also contributes to the exterior design. So a lot of times people will build like an interior and then an exterior design, but it's really nice when the exoskeleton can also be detail for the interior. But if you don't do that, you're just kind of... like, it doesn't work in every circumstance, but if you do it, it will be rewarding for sure. 35 people are watching. I guess people want to hear what the update for Reforged is. They're hoping I wasn't lying. Don't worry, I would not do that to you guys. You will hear the update, but we still need 5 more people. $39. Oh God, I'm actually gonna have to say it. You guys, good work collecting all these people. I only see 39. I only see 39. Can't just be 40 for a second. Has to be 40. Has to be 40. $41. All right. Take a second. Take a pause from this for a second. All right. So, the big update for Reforged that I'm going to leak is... I got you. Thought I just was going to leave you hanging there. No. So this is related to the combat system. And after doing a lot of research, a lot of thought, I have decided, and the development team has decided, that we are going to do animated combat. Now, what does this mean? This means we're not going to be using link swords. That really is unfortunate. I know why people in the community would be upset about that. And essentially, I'm going to explain it. So before you go do something irrational, I want to explain why we're doing animated combat. 1, R15 accommodates our animated combat at a level that people haven't seen before. 2, we're not doing animated combat that you think of, where you just click and you just do a random attack until you kill somebody and there's no skill involved. It's going to be very skill-based. It's going to be involving timing, parries, counters, blocks. Different weapon types are going to do damage against different other types of weapons. And so, essentially, instead of being limited to just swords, we're going to have spears, blunt objects, daggers, and then all sorts of different types of those. Two-handed swords that can take down horses and cavalry. Things that will really allow us to have a more versatile weapon system. So, basically, what I'm telling you is probably upsetting to a lot of you. But I do promise I will establish a system where there can be tournament areas where you can have link swords and dual and link swords within the game. It won't count in battles and such, but it will be like if you want to maintain your link sword skill. Obviously, that it's been, this people have been using link swords for over a decade. So you guys can quit if you want, but when the animated swords, when the combat system gets done and it's fucking amazing, you guys are gonna wish you didn't quit and lose your rank. Like, I'm really excited about it. I love Link swords. When Erin was here and she wanted to do animated swords, I fought her pretty tooth and nail about it. But now I'm very, very happy about it. And the system we already have, what we already have as far as combat goes is really exciting, and I think you guys are going to really like it. It's basically like a full-scale RPG. It's not like the old Rome genre of swords. It's nothing like that. So honestly, you guys shouldn't overreact. It's going to be quite an amazing system. I've shown a lot of people it, and the people I have shown so far thought it's amazing, and they really like it. So that is the announcement. I wanted to give you guys some time to process it before the update, so it doesn't come as a big shock. But I will promise to make the best animated swords possible within the Roblox platform's limitations. So we're taking a lot of influence from Morthow. We're taking a lot of influence from Breath of the Wild. We're taking a lot of influence from Skyrim. We're taking a lot of influence from a lot of major RPGs. So that's why this update is taking so long, because essentially we are trying to perfect every single aspect of it. And if we don't use animated swords, we're going to be outdated, and when Roblox inevitably gets rid of R6, we won't be able to use them really anyway. So my thought is Roblox Link swords have been around since 2006. I think they're great. I love using Link swords, but there's a limit to what you can do within a game structure with Link swords, and we're trying to become as popular to become on the front page, and I don't think that's going to happen with Link swords. But that's just the decision that I've made. I understand people who are upset, but my only request is that you actually wait until Reforged is released to pass judgment. Don't just hear a word like animated swords and then think it's going to be shit, because I assure you it is not going to be shit. It is going to be quite spectacular, and already is, really. So, hang in there, gamers. If you guys want to have actual questions about the combat system, I can answer them. But if you guys want to keep spamming, then I'm going to have to... Wow, you guys are even more upset than I thought you would be. Well, I'm okay with being the bad guy. It's fine. I know that you guys are going to love it when it comes out, so I'm not really that concerned. I already said there's going to be a spot for Link swords to remain in the game. In a tournament setting, in like a dueling setting. So I don't think you guys should be that upset. But I understand that why you are, and you have my sympathies. It wasn't an easy decision to make for me either. As I said, I fought Erin on this when she was trying to introduce it back in 2016. I fought her on it for a long time, and I had to actually see some great animated systems on Roblox to change my mind. One of the systems I I saw was actually made by the guy who made Rogue Lineage. He used to be an ACA. He's a friend of mine, Raguzer. And Raguzer showed me his animated combat system, and I was very impressed, and it basically made me change my mind about animated combat and what it can actually be. So I was like very impressed when he did that. I was very impressed by what he accomplished with that, and so I set up to make a system that's even better, and I believe it is. And we've been working on this very hard. I've been working on Reforged basically every waking hour that I can. I'm still in school. I'm trying to graduate college this semester, but every single hour I have, I've been working on Reforged. Now, so here's some questions. There's 2 people upset. Yes, it's in Phase 1, by the way. Is there going to be a For Honor look? I don't even know. I've never played For Honor, so I'm not sure. It could. Rune Dragon's behind the combat system, so I kind of just told him what I thought we should make, and then they got together and then they made a sort of system based on what I said and their own adaptations. So he'd be a person that would know that. So you're going to be able to do something like having us hold the sword backwards, charging up into a mall sort of combat animation? I'm not really sure what that question is. Any news on the specifics of the animations? I've been personally overseeing the animations. I taught myself how to do animations. We hired an editor, an animator, and he did great work, but I just wanted to make it even more pristine, so I edited them personally and improved them even more. And since then, the animations are looking fantastic. Basically, they all have wind-ups, so you have a chance to counter every single attack based on what it is. Yes, phase 1. Sorry. Yeah, multiple hits. I've heard that it's similar to Mount and Blade, but I haven't played that either. As far as the group concerns, nothing's changing with the groups. Groups are going to be able to do more than they ever have before. But instead of it just being a static, boring environment where there's nothing but groups, we're actually introducing things where people have the chance to be outside of groups, which I think is really exciting. Animus system. Yes, there are going to be changes to the Animus system, pretty significant. In case you guys didn't know this, I'm pretty sure I've announced this, we are scrapping every single thing in the game right now. There's not a single script that's going to be kept, so that should answer that question. That doesn't mean we're not using the same items. Now, listen, hear me out when I say that. Does not mean we are not using the same items. It just means that everything's going to have new, fresh scripts. Ranged weapons will probably be pretty similar as they are now. Yeah. Raid systems, the combat system, I would consider separate than the capture system, so I don't really want to answer questions on the capture system since it's different. I will tell you this, the road is still going to exist. All the bases that are currently out there are going to exist in an improved fashion. Honestly, you guys should be excited. This is something that is really going to be amazing for the game. Again, I understand completely why you guys may be upset about losing Link's swords. I'm upset about it. So, I wish there could have been a world where we could have kept Link's swords forever, but it just was not realistic. I'm trying to make a game that will appeal to many different types of players, and that we can actually have a lot of new people coming in. So I know that's sacrifices some aspects of the current community and game, but it was a technical risk to do that. So I'm aware that it's painful to some people, but I kind of want to focus on the positives, and to me the positives far outweigh the negatives. If they didn't, I wouldn't have made that decision. And for those of you taking this positively, thank you. Thank you for giving it a chance. And everybody here, thank you for hopefully not leaving and actually waiting to see what this looks like. Nothing's changed the game right now. So you should at least wait and feel it out and give it an honest, fair shake. Because, like I said, this is not the animated swords you guys think of. It's not. It's completely different. They're like animated swords are animated swords because they have animations, right? But like when somebody says animated swords, they automatically think, oh my god, it's those fucking Rome swords that have 3 animations that play over and over, and all you do is walk and spam them, and like whoever spams the most wins. It's like, no, that's the opposite of what I wanted to create. Like that, I would fucking die before I release something like that into Reforged, to TTC. That would be absurd. So I know you guys, you know, whatever, you might not trust me because I've promised updates in the past and they've been delayed and delayed. But whoever here does trust me, I can promise you that that it's going to be nothing like that, other than the fact that they're animated. The only thing they have in common with those Rome swords is that they're animated. So that's what I think about that. Will TKP feature be removed? By the way, if you're asking a question at me, so I can see it. R15, definitely going R15. I had to make that decision. I love R6. R15, I just had to do because personally, I'm not sure what Roblox's plans are with R6, but I get the inclination that they may just be removing R6 as a possibility sometime in the future, and that was just too risky for me. The prospect of that being just completely removed would just be catastrophic to a game. We wouldn't just, you know, we'd have to not only make a new update with R6, but we'd have to have everybody wait to fix the game until we did that. I'm not guaranteeing that's what Roblox is going to do, and I haven't heard that from a Roblox admin, so that's not what I'm necessarily saying, but I am saying that there was risk involved with staying in R6, and personally, I just didn't want to take the risk. And, you know, Roblox makes more features for people who use R15, so... and I think R15 looks a lot better than it did when it came out. Play Mountain Blade and watch how they siege castles and they shoot crossbows and longbows. I will. Before we worked on Ranged, I will maybe take some inspiration from that. Thank you for recommending that. What's my opinion on LAB? I think I answered that in the last stream. I'm pretty sure they just left to go work on... Skeleton wanted to make a game that actually made a lot of money, so he quit LAB, and personally I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying to make TTC into a successful game. So, this is the compromise I had to make when I decided I was going to be going into this for the foreseeable future. I had to make the compromise of, you know, deciding... I had to decide what... I had to make decisions that necessarily would change things, but things that I had to do. This is my job now, guys. I'm trying to make a living. And like this, I quit my job to develop for TTC. And after I'm done with college, I'm going to be doing this full time. Credenzio Studios is a real company. And so I needed to make decisions that would work out for the best of the game in the future and that could actually make it so I could stay here. So I hope everybody understands that. And I know not everybody's mad. I shouldn't be getting so defensive, so I apologize. And I'm not even mad at the people that are upset about this, because I fucking understand. It took me a while to wrap my head around the change as well. So take it from me, you know. And I thought it was not fair for such a significant change to just be dumped on you guys. I wanted to make sure you guys had ample time to think about it and prepare. So yeah, new factions are going to be introduced into Phase 1. So I think at least 3 factions are new. What job? I was a real estate salesman. Current faction councils overall. That's going to be addressed in Reforged. I do not invest in stock. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Roblox's. That's really weird. Shut up. That's probably you. Nice, guys. So we're basically done with the exterior. We just need to add this little top piece. Personally, I think it's looking good. But it could always be improved. Probably needs to have some tiles on the floor. Thank you for subscribing. This part shouldn't take too long. Is anybody excited to have a change combat system? And I guess what I want to ask is, what can I avoid in the combat system that you guys would really not like? So I can make sure I make the animated sword system, I don't even want to call it that, the combat system, the best possible system it can be. So I just want to turn it around to you guys. What would make you happiest to see? Because I'm telling you this is happening. So this isn't... this isn't something that can be changed. It's in process. It's going to happen. Uniforms actually look pretty decent in R15. There's a few kind of iffy parts, but like I'd say it's you know, it's no worse than it is now. It's combat that's affected by ping, delays, and lag. Well, link swords are affected by ping, so they delay and lag, and people die using link swords all the time. Not fairly because of lag, so I don't really think that's a valid critique of animated swords. Don't make it so you have 3 areas you put your sword in, like For Honor. Don't avoid tedious combat. Make sure that we feel a sense of pressure when we're in a duel. Trust me, you will feel a sense of pressure. Oh, you will feel the pressure. It's much faster paced than the other Link swords, where you think, like the current the current animated sword system, where like you basically like can just run away and never die. Yeah, no, that's not going to be a thing. So. Devin? Will shields block swords? If so, will swords still do partial damage? Shields will block shields. Shields will block swords. Yeah, good question on Sainted. How much harder is it going to be to take on multiple enemies? And how much easier it going to be gaining up on somebody? I'd say that Link Swords, somebody who's really skilled with a Link Sword can get lucky and take down like 8 people. It's going to be very difficult to do that with the new system. Which, you know, may be frustrating to some people who really enjoyed that. I understand. But at the same time, you know, that's not very realistic. And, it's kind of, and it's like one of the very fun parts, but at the same time, you know, there's so much luck involved sometimes in Link Swords, and I'm not saying Link Swords are operated based on luck, but certainly there's a luck factor in them, that it makes combat very, difficult to be it's not very consistent, is what I'm trying to say. So this new system, somebody who's better than somebody else should consistently beat them. Can that somebody get lucky? Yeah, of course. Or they can have a better weapon class than them, or something that's favorable matchup as far as, you know, countering. Yeah, of course. But as far as like ganging up on somebody, like, it's going to be a lot easier to do that. Yeah, I gotta tell your girlfriend when you're live streaming. Good lesson. I look like Shaggy, thank you. Rather look like Shaggy than fucking Tom Holland. Yeah. Top 10 all-time nightmares. I can't believe that just happened. Okay. Okay, I was smirking, wasn't I? Will you fight me with the new combat? Yeah, when we're done and Reforged is released, I will fight you. Thank you. My girlfriend was trying to dress my wounds, and I told her maybe it's not a good time, and she didn't know I was streaming. Belagon. Isn't that fucking Michael? God damn it. Just put a ball on this and call it a day, huh? Let's call it a day. I'm gonna call it a day. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Even the best of us get not caught up, get snuck up on. Stamina, yes, there will be stamina. Lancing tournaments, yes. Am I sitting in a wheelchair? No. No. Luckily, I have the use of both of my legs. Some people do not. Unfortunately. Purtroppo. Damn it. You will be able to push rammers all day. Rammers are going to be pushed. You can shove them. You can beat them up. Yep, I got a wheelchair, guys. Anti-Crusaders coming through. Thanks, Rye. I was just checking if you were still here. See you, Pud. That's so fucked. Don't release Reforged until my tournament is done. Okay, fuck you, Michael. Gonna make the people wait. Is that about the size of a Roblox Jesus character? Alright, I'm getting a little burnout, and I don't want to not make this the best possible I can as far as Christ's actual tomb itself, so probably going to tap out. We did the whole mausoleum exterior, which is great. I think it looks pretty good. As far as I'm concerned. Will Jesus rise for a special Easter event? That's fucked. You're fucked, bro. Maybe we can do something cool though with like some cool lighting real quick.
It's coming from the heavens.
Thoughts? Thoughts on the mausoleum, guys? Really thick. Nice. Too much open space. It's not done yet, Crow. It's the mausoleum I'm talking about, not the Holy Sepulchre. Gosh. You can only state your opinion if it agrees with exactly what I want you to say. I want to leave, but I just want to finish this. So we're just going to finish it. I don't think it ruins it. I think it enhances the game. Like, I see that point of view. I just don't quite agree with it. You didn't waste any time with our Link Swords. I didn't waste any time playing Wind Waker, Zelda Wind Waker, one of my favorite games of all time. I played it a few times. I didn't waste time when, Twilight Princess came out. I wasn't like, oh, well, that whole game was a waste of time. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, you enjoyed the time you had with it, and I hope, and I think you will enjoy the time you have with the new system. So I don't think it's a waste of time. It's a chance for you to keep training and try something new. Yeah, I mean, I know you worked on SF for a long time. I probably worked on it longer than you have. So I understand that this is a tough decision. I understand that it's hard. And also, I want you guys to just understand and respect why we have to do this. And if that hasn't been clear, please tell me so I can explain further. The whole intention of this is to make sure you guys understand. It would have been a failure if you guys didn't understand. glove fits, you must acquit. Yeah, so essentially you can only do a certain amount of things with combat if it's in Link Swords. So you can't do different classes that counter each other. You can't support other melee weapons. Like a spear, you know, would just not make any sense. You... Yeah, you can't support expanding systems. You can't do as good precise calculations. You can't improve skill sets. You couldn't even make an RPG with Link Swords, really. So I'm sure it's been done before. I don't know if it was a very good one, but it's just very limiting, and I don't want to be limited by something. I want to be limited, rather. This whole tomb needs to be moved. Spears would not be a game pass. I'm not selling game passes. Look, I'm doing my best not to sell anything that makes your character better than somebody else's physically. It's going to be stuff like skins, maybe gold, but I also think that could get dangerous. So I'm not entirely certain on that. Mostly skins. So there's also going to be safety nets, so even if we did do gold, it's not like somebody can just come in and buy the best weapon in the game and kill you instantly. They have to have a certain skill set to use that weapon. If that makes sense. I'm not going to say only cosmetics will be game passes, but as far as we planned it, that's essentially what we're doing. So I'm not going to just make that commitment right now because I'm not certain. We might end up having some game passes that aren't cosmetic, but certainly it's not going to be EA status. Just kidding, we're doing loot boxes everywhere. Better be prepared. Loot boxes coming through. No, we're not doing something like that, so. The stream's going on 2.5 hours. Holy fuck. Alone I keep... Why did the music stop? That's why it's been so weird in here. Epic battle passes. I don't even know what the fuck that is, bro. I think it's done. Who's excited about the update? Who's excited? Will there be, like, tier weapons? Yes. The harder you work in the game, the better weapons you're going to get. So somebody coming into the game can't get a level 10 sword because they don't have level 10 experience with that weapon. Alright, you got to cap it off somewhere, guys. I think this is... I'm a little unhappy with how this turned out. Oh, I know how to fix it. Just been too lazy. That looks better, but it's still not what I wanted to do in a second here. Perfect. Oh, that's my phone ringtone. StarCraft 2 themed. I don't know, what color should we do for this? Maybe white? I think I like that the most. Yeah, with that, I'd say that makes this thing pretty much complete. Like I said, you got to cut off things at a certain point, you know, like... Could we add more detail to this? Absolutely, we could add more detail to this, but, you know, we have to cut it off at some point and move on. So, I'm satisfied with this. I'm not ashamed of it whatsoever. I think the interior and exterior are fabulous. I think it looks good from the top. I think it looks good from the ground level. Interior looks good. I think the little thing on top finally looks good with that last addition. And yeah. Oh, last thing, just so you guys don't jump all over Jesus. My favorite thing in the world. Could even make it so you can't even get in. You just can see from the outside. But you should be able to get in, maybe. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Please just have a little faith. And look, if everybody hates the swords when they come out, which I don't think people will, we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll improve them. So, just take that assurance, hopefully, and hopefully that makes you feel a little better. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.